When I think of great songwriters and people who write lyrics, I think my self-consciousness would get in the way. In other words, do you ever sit there and go, oh, fuck, I don't know if this song is trite or not. Are people going to laugh at me, or are they going to take it seriously and really get off on this? I would be in a panic.
I remember especially feeling that way on the second record, because the first record you just kind of wrote, it was I'd been writing songs and, on my own and making demos in this little apartment and being in, smaller bands and playing clubs and opening for other bands. And then when the Seattle fellas invited me up, and now even though we were making like a real record, and my first real record, and I was so glad they had faith in me, but really I was writing, a lot of stuff was coming out and it was happening quick, and these were like the best musicians I had ever worked with. But after that record actually did well, and now when we were making the second record, and then you kind of had an idea that a bunch of people are going to hear it compared to the first one. The first one we were maybe, for some reason in my head, there was this goal. If you sold 40,000 records, they'd allow you to make another. That was like the number we had to hit, electoral college votes. We needed, 40,000 records. And then we got to that point, and then it kind of kept going and going. So by the time the second record came on, you kind of knew there was an audience there. And that's when I felt a little pressure as to, could I say this, or what would people think about me, or would they think it was about me? Where, before I wasn't, I felt much more
and isn't that
free,
death
but
for
it didn't
a
last
songwriter?
that long.
That second album, the pressure to sell albums and not to just be a one-hit wonder, it's just insane, the pressure. I don't think people understand it. You don't want to disappoint the band. You don't want to disappoint the record company. It's tough.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, and looking back on some of those times, I wish I would have handled a few things differently. If I think if I just would have known back then that, it's going to be okay, like enjoy the ride. It's a fucking roller coaster. And even though the thing that comes over your shoulders, even though that's broken, you could, you're going to, if someone told me, kind of enjoy it, like it's going to be okay. That would have been a lot more fun, but I just didn't know that. In fact, my instincts were saying like, this is not okay. And what's happening? We got in a band to kind of be our own boss and be a gang and make our own decisions. And then it felt like we were kind of, and these were good people, they were working hard for our record. I mean, it was nice of them to do that. And
right.
But there was, it was really moving quick for us. And I admit it was a little hard to handle, but I think that was because we were coming at it as real people.
What's funny with us, meaning you and me, I go on the air all the time and say, the greatest Pearl Jam song of all time, Glorified G. And I play it all the time on the show. You hate that song. Like, you fucking hate it. You don't like performing it. I'm like, how could there be such a disconnect between us, me and you? It's crazy. I love that song.
It's not that did I say that I hate that song?
You were doing this live in San Diego, and you even sing that. You go, a glorified version of a song I hate. Listen to the opening here. There it is. Glorified version of I hate this song.
Okay, that's just
what's happening there?
What's happening there is, I think that's probably later in the set.
Right.
I was probably in San Diego, probably hung out with my brothers the night before, or maybe had a surf, and then, we hung out, and then it sounds like my voice is struggling slightly there. And that song is a pain in the ass to sing, but nothing personal about it. It was just that night. See, that makes more sense.
Is that why you avoid the song, though? I know that you guys don't do that a lot in concert. Is it because it's hard for you to sing that in a live show?
No, in the end, they all take a bit of effort. But I think nowadays, the last few years, we're getting older, but the shows are getting longer.